Hey there, so today we're going to be covering how to make a 3D version of your book cover using GIMP. So first step is to find a PSD mockup of a blank book. So if you just go to Google image search and then put in free blank book cover PSD, you'll get a page that looks like this with results. And we're just going to go with the first one because first of all, it's a nice big size. And so we're going to save this to our hard drive. And we're going to open it in GIMP. So we'll click on View Image to get it alone, and then we'll right click and save it to my desktop. Okay, so we'll head on over to the desktop and find that file. And here it is. So we'll right click that and we'll go open with GIMP. And this tutorial assumes that you already have a flat book cover design. So if you don't know how to make one of those, I'll be doing a tutorial on that also with GIMP soon, so stay tuned for that. Okay, so here we are. Now you'll notice that the only thing about this graphic that I don't like is that if you'll zoom in a little, it's kind of hard to see at this scale, but if you zoom in up at the top, it has a little text up here that says to download more graphics at psdgraphics.com, which is where this PSD obviously came from. So I don't want to keep that in my final image, so I'm going to crop it out. So every time I open something new in GIMP like this that I'm going to edit, I like to do a couple of things. First of all, I like to right click the layer over here and add an alpha channel. And next I go up to the select menu and I select all. And then I go over to the image menu, go down to guides, and then select new guides from selection. And now let's zoom out a little bit. So we'll go to view, zoom, we'll go to 50%. And so you'll see that that adds guides around the entire image, and that helps us keep our edits within the boundaries of the image, and it helps snap things to it. So let's first crop out this text up here. So we'll go over here to the toolbox and we're going to use the rectangle select tool for this. So start up in the corner over here and first just select the whole image and make sure you snap to the guides that are in place. So really the only thing we want to crop out is that text up there. So we'll just go here, hover in the middle here, and you'll see this rectangle appear in the middle when you are right here. And so we just want to click and pull this down beneath the text that we want to crop out. And next we'll go over to the layer menu, and we're going to scroll down to crop to selection and click that. So now you'll see that it's removed that that text. So next we're going to go ahead and just go to the edit menu and we're going to go cut. So now we're going to go to file, we're going to go create and click from clipboard. There we go. So now we have a version of this that has no text at the top. So we'll close this other window of GIMP here. Okay, so let's make this bigger, and now let's right click this layer, or I'm sorry, no. Now we're going to do the same things that we had done in the last window, so we'll go select all, image, guides, new guides from selection. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to add our flat book cover design. So we'll assume that you already have one of those. So for me, I'm going to go pull one of the ones from my other books. So for this example, I will be using this image here. So in order to add it to our current image, we'll just drag it from our Windows Explorer into our current image, and it's going to add it as a new layer. And you'll see that it's much too big for this template right now, so what we need to do is go down or go up to the layer menu and click scale layer. So currently the width is 1632 pixels by 2592. So we need to make that significantly smaller. So what we'll do is we'll just pretty much experiment with this. So we'll try let's take it down 1000 pixels. So instead of 1632, we'll just try 632, and then we'll click the tab key on the keyboard, and it will automatically change the height so that it scales properly. And we'll click scale. Okay, so that still looks like it's going to be too big, so we'll repeat this process. Scale layer. So instead of that, let's try 432. See what that does. Okay, now as you can see, it looks much closer. In fact, it might be a little too small now. It might start to look distorted once we pull it around and scale with the perspective tool. So let's actually undo that, and let's go layer scale, and we'll try 100 pixels less than that, so 532 instead. Okay, so that's pretty close. So now what we need to do is we need to click the perspective tool, which is right here, and just make sure you've got the layer with your book cover selected, and then just click anywhere on it. And now it's going to let us drag the corners so that it fits on our book. So, but before we do that, since the book's not really lined up with any corner of the image, we're going to first go ahead and select our book cover layer, and then click the move tool and move the active layer. And then we're just going to kind of pull it over here so that we have a good starting point. So we want to start the corner of it right about there. And sometimes this is hard to see at this, so you might want to zoom in. We'll go to view and zoom to 100%, and then that helps us see it a little bit better. So now we'll click the perspective tool, and we'll click the cover. And first we need to match the edges up here on the top up. So we'll take this corner over here, and we'll just pull it with our mouse over to where it needs to go, basically. So to the edge and corner of this book cover. Okay, and that's pretty close, so we'll click transform. What the fuck happened? Okay, so we'll see that that's pretty close, but it still needs some work. So we'll click transform again. We need to drag this side up just a hair, as you can see. I'll click transform, and it'll make the changes. So this corner is just a little funky here. Perfectionist, so okay, and that's pretty close for the top. So now we need to do the same with the bottom. So using the perspective tool again, we will drag this corner up here to where it belongs because it's overflowing the cover currently. We'll click transform, and we went a little too high on that, so just bring it down here. And last we need to do this corner, so we'll pull this in some, and it's hard to see because we're on top of it, so we'll just do that. We'll click transform, and we'll just keep doing this until we are in the right place. Now we can at least see the corner, so that makes it easier. Okay, now that's getting pretty darn close, except we're a little far down on that side. That's better. And like I said, I'm a complete perfectionist, so I will fiddle with it all day if I have a chance. Okay, so we're pretty darn close on that, so we'll go ahead and zoom out. And it looks pretty good, pretty close. So now, obviously all you need to do at this point is merge this down onto the background and then save it. So